They want to run the ball, pound it at your face. That's all they want to do, and they're not shy about doing it, okay? They're thinking, hey, we're going to line up for 50 minutes, 60 minutes of this game, and we're just going to shove it down your throat, okay? Pause. Welcome back to another episode of the Ian Fritts Show. It is me, per usual, Ian Fritts. It is that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It is poll season. We are doing my top 25 teams heading into 2025. Now, as we all know, a single down of college football has not been played yet. It has not been played. However, these are my top 25 teams in order, 25-1. We're going right into it. Pause. If you want to subscribe down below. We would love that here at the Ian Fritts Show. And by we, I mean me. It's a one-man show. Without further ado, my number 25 team in the country is the Tennessee Volunteers, okay? And I already hear it. Get it out the way. Listen to this, folks. You're losing your top 3 wide receivers. You're replacing 4 out of 5 offensive linemen. You're replacing your quarterback. Yes, maybe with a better quarterback, you're still replacing your quarterback. He has to learn the system. It's not just plug and play. These guys have to learn the system. It takes a while to do that, okay? If you had Nico, he'd probably be a little ahead of the new QB because he doesn't have to learn the system. But new guy, learns system, basically an entire new offense. Offense should be regressing drastically from where it was the past few years. And now, I'm not saying Josh Heupel's going to have a bad offense this year, but I do think it's going to be worse. I don't think that bodes well for Tennessee. I think the defense will regress slightly. They had an exceptional defense the past couple of years. They lose some guys. I think that brings you back down in the rankings, okay? A lot of people have them in the top 15, 17 range. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. They can easily move up. 8 weeks into the season, we may have Tennessee rising up this ranking. Not right now. Not right now. I'm not there yet. You're replacing your entire offense. I have to see it on the field. Next up, we got the SMU Ponies, okay? Look, Kevin Jennings is one of my favorite quarterbacks in college football. The dude is a baller, absolute stud of a quarterback, okay? I also love Rhett Lashley. Every single place he goes to, they win football games. This is no slouch of a team. This team knows how to win. They did it last year. They were in the college football playoff last year, for crying out loud, okay? And yes, I know, last year does not mean success this year, okay? You could have been the greatest team of all time last year. That doesn't mean you're going to be good this year. That's not how it works. This is college football. These are college kids. 1 year being good doesn't mean you're going to be good the next year automatically. And 1 bad year doesn't mean you're going to be bad the next year automatically. That's not how college football works. However, SMU, a lot of returning talent. I trust Rhett Lashley. The schedule's relatively easy for the SMU Ponies. I like them at the 24 spot. Now, this 23 team, they have a week 1 game at home against an SEC opponent. It's time to make a statement. That SEC opponent is not in my top 25. However, some people think they should be. I'm not there yet. That number 23 team is the Baylor Bears. Dave Aranda. Going into last season, we were thinking, how was this guy not fired? How was Dave Aranda not gone? He should have been gone like his hair. He doesn't have a single. It's shiny. I'll give him credit. He knows how to rock that shiny head. I'm sure he polishes that every morning. But a lot of people are saying, get Dave Aranda. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Not me. Not me. I was a Dave Aranda fan. And sure enough, they turned things around offensively. Nonetheless, he's a defensive guy. And the offense was like, hey, you can take the year off, Dave. We will save your job. And partially, it's because of the quarterback offensive coordinator duo. A lot of offensive coordinator openings last season after the 2024 season were coming for Baylor's offensive coordinator. They were coming for him, and they were coming for the quarterback in a tandem deal. And you know what Baylor said? Hey, we need to pay these guys, and we need them to stay. Okay, we need them to stay. And what do? They stay, and that's how Baylor's in the top 25 to begin the season. I think they beat Auburn in week 1. I love the Baylor Bears. I love the Baylor Bears this year. My 22 team in the country. Some people might say this is way too low. A lot of people hate this team. The coach says some outrageous things. However, the coach is a winner. That's right, the Indiana Hoosiers at number 22, ladies and gentlemen. If you look up Kirk Cignetti, like he told everybody to last year, you see a lot of W's and not a lot of L's, okay? Not a lot of coaches can say that. I mean, this guy's got like an 85% win percentage. That's unreal. That is unreal. Now, does he play a bunch of nobody, snowflakes, snowmen, soft people? Yeah, he does. He does. But he knows the formula. You go 11-1 with that schedule. Right this way, ladies and gentlemen. Right this way. Here's the playoffs. Come right on in. Come right on in. Indiana, yeah, 11-1. Record checks out. Who'd you play? Doesn't matter. 11-1. You will go to the college football playoff. Here you go. Indiana's smart. They know that. Kirk Cignetti knows that. All he's trying to do is get to the college football playoff because that's a goal for an Indiana Hoosier team. They're not trying to win the national championship. Let's be realistic here. That's not a national championship caliber football team. Now, they brought in Fernando Mendoza. I love that guy. He's an awesome quarterback. I like Indiana. I just don't think they're that top end. They have a legit shot of making the playoff this year because the schedule's easy again, and they have talent. And Kirk Cignetti's a great head coach. I'm just not there yet. 22. Number 21, we have a team that spends a lot of money. Recently, they're in the running. There's a defensive line recruit, edge player from Georgia. This is a high schooler from the state of Georgia that is projected by all websites, all platforms to go to Texas Tech. It would be my estimation that they're going to pay upwards of $1 million to get this kid to Lubbock, Texas. Now, this is not a reported number. Ian Fritts Show does not have any sources anywhere yet. That is just what I think because this kid lives in Georgia's backyard, and Texas Tech says, no. 100% chance you're coming here. You're coming to Lubbock, Texas. And the kid's like, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I'll go for $5,000. No. It's going to be a big payday. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are your number 21 team in the country. They are paying folks, and they are paying them to come from all over the United States, maybe even overseas. Not sure you want to do that, but they're probably doing it. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, the pockets run deep. It's those oil money pockets, folks. Lubbock, Texas has all the money. The season is ahead of them. It's not a tough schedule. The Big 12 was wide open. About 12 teams in the Big 12 can win this thing. Watch out for the Red Raiders this year. The only thing holding me back is Baron Morton. Look, stats are there. I just don't see it with the eye test right there. There's something when you watch him play football, and I think, I'm not there yet, Baron Morton. I'm not there yet. Moving right along. Top 20. This is where we get to some really, really, really good football teams. Not saying 21 through 25 can't be there, but right now, we're jumping to number 20. This is a team a lot of people are doubting. They're not really. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this team heading into the season. And for me, I'm thinking, what? How are we not talking about this football team? That's the Iowa State Cyclones, okay? Here's why we need to be believing in the Iowa State Cyclones going into 2025. Number one reason, 2 words, 1 person, Rocco Becht. If you don't know who that is, Google him up after this video or Google him on your side computer here. He's the quarterback for Iowa State. He's an absolute stud. He is probably in line for a certified stud muffin status this year, depending on what he does. Maybe in week 0, because in week 0, Iowa State, they're getting on an airplane, and they're going overseas, playing in Dublin, Ireland. I believe it's in Dublin, against Kansas State. Talk about a matchup to get college football season kicked off, or roughly kicked off, maybe a squib kick, because week 1 kicks off, let me tell you. But in week 0, we get Iowa State, Kansas State. Everybody should be all over that game. And you know who's playing in that game? Rocco Becht. Not as good a hair as Avery Johnson over there in Kansas State, who did not crack my top 25. But he's a better quarterback. You better know Rocco Becht's name by the end of the season. I think you will. Dark horse, Heisman, Rocco Becht. Iowa State at number 20. The team right in front of them went on a tear at the end of last season. They beat teams such as Ohio State, and I just gave it away. You're thinking, nobody beat Ohio State. Oh, one team did. They beat teams like Alabama. Yes, that's right. The Michigan State Wolverines are my number 19 team in the country. A lot of people have them up at 15, 14, 13, maybe even creeping into the top 10. I have a hesitation with that in a lot of these teams in the top 25. First-year quarterbacks, especially true freshmen, have a hard time, even if they are the most talented guy in the world, even if they are the next Tom Brady, the next Caleb Williams, college version, the next whoever you want to insert five-star quarterback. It takes time to adjust to the college level. We see it time and again, year after year. It takes these guys a little bit to settle in. And it takes first-year starters who may even be a sophomore or a junior a few games to settle in. Michigan doesn't have that luxury, ladies and gentlemen. You know why? Because they go to Norman, Oklahoma. They play the Oklahoma Sooners. Bryce Underwood's first real start, yeah, they're playing some scrub in week 1, doesn't count. His first real start's on the road, night game, Norman, Oklahoma, against an OU defense that is definitely going to be a top 15 unit this year. We need to pump the brakes on the Michigan hype, okay? I think Bryce Underwood's going to be a great quarterback eventually. Let's give him some time. It doesn't click right away for these guys. Give him some time. That's why I have Michigan at number 19. Right in front of them, I already know I'm catching heat for what I have right in front of them. This is a team where they almost beat Georgia last year. Basically beat them. I mean, they took them to 9 overtimes, 8 overtimes, whatever it was. It's the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Look, Haynes King, dog. Brent Key, dog. Who's Brent Key? He's their head coach. And you're thinking, head coach is a dog? Yeah. Brent Key's a dog. D-A-G-G. Dog. He's a great head football coach, and they know what they want to do in Georgia Tech, okay? Atlanta, I believe, is where they're based. They want to run the ball, pound it at your face. That's all they want to do, and they're not shy about doing it, okay? They're thinking, hey, we're going to line up for 50 minutes, 60 minutes of this game, and we're just going to shove it down your throat, okay? Pause. We are going to give it to you, and you're going to take it. That's what Georgia Tech does, okay? Now, why are they at number 18? I didn't see them in the top 25, in the top 30 of all these other polls. Why are you so high on them? I love what they got. They're the same team as last year. I think a year of progression for them. Another year of Brent Key being the head ball coach. I love the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets so much. I have them in the ACC championship game against the Clemson Tigers. We'll get to Clemson here later on. And this isn't something I saw online thinking this is a hot topic pick for Georgia Tech to be in the ACC championship game. No. Go watch my ACC preview a few weeks ago. I was on this early, folks. I was on this early. I like Georgia Tech at number 18. Number 17, right in front of them. The Illinois Fighting Illini, okay? Look, Luke Altmaier's back. Brett Bielema, they're back. I love Luke Altmaier. I think he's a really good quarterback. I believe they were number 12 in the coaches poll. I'm just not there yet. Their schedule shapes up kind of a medium difficulty schedule in the Big Ten. I just don't love having them in the top 15. I like Luke Altmaier, Brett Bielema. They're going to win football games, no doubt in my mind. They will win football games. However, they're just not that upper tier of the Big Ten. I can't have them with the likes of Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon. That's why they're at number 17. Team right in front of them, a team replacing a quarterback that is now in New York City, the Big Apple, concrete jungle where dreams are made. Okay? That's right. Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels at number 16. Austin Simmons coming in there. We saw a little bit of Austin Simmons last year in one of their games. He showed flashes. However, young guy, year one. Not year one in the system, but year one as a starter. It takes some time to adjust. Now, how long does it take Austin Simmons to adjust? Is it 3/4 of their third game? Is it halfway through the season? Is it 9 games in and he's like, okay, I'm finally getting up to speed here with the college football thing, okay? How long does it take? That's my biggest question for the Ole Miss Rebels. I think the talent's there. Lane Kiffin, great mind. I also doubt Lane Kiffin can win the big games. I'm not there yet with Lane Kiffin. That's why they're at number 16, outside the top 15, looking in. We will pause right here to take a sip out of the patented mug. Look at this. Matches this thing right behind me here. If you want one of these, let me know. This is also a good time to tell you guys to subscribe down below or in comment, Ian, what are you doing with your top 25? What's going on? Why what are you doing wrong? Here's where you went wrong. Here's also where you went right. I love to talk with you guys in the comments. So get down there and comment. The 15th team in the country, top 15. You're 3 spots away from a college football playoff berth right here. I guess technically 4 because I do not have a group of 5 team ranked. I don't think there's a group of 5 team that deserves to be in the top 25 as of right now. So you're 4 spots away from college football playoff if they were to start tomorrow, if you're this number 15 team in the country. That number 15 team in the country is the Texas A&M Ags. Okay, look, I am very high on Texas A&M. I think higher than most. Usually I'm a Texas A&M hater. I think, hey, what are we doing with Texas A&M in the top 15 in the preseason polls? This is year in, year out. They have all the talent. They never perform. Here we go again. Cycle it. We can already clock this as a team that's going to drop from their preseason ranking way below what they were to start the season. I think this is a riser. I think Texas A&M will rise in the rankings by the end of the year, okay? And here's why. Marcel Reed, incredible quarterback. I think he gets things under control. They also have a wide receiver, Casey Concepcione, okay? Probably said his last name wrong. No big deal. Transfer from NC State. Absolute baller. If you can get the ball in his hands, just let him do what he does. Just let him do what he does. They also have a running back, 5-star last year, Ruben Owens, tore his ACL. He's back. Le'Veon Moss is back. Offensive line is back. This is a team with a lot of returning production. Mike Elko getting his hand back in that cookie jar of the defense, calling plays. Okay, I love the Texas A&M Aggies. I believe they will shock some teams this year. This is definitely a dark horse for the college football playoff. A lot of teams not even talking about them right now. Watch out for Texas A&M. Right in front of them, we have the top Big 12 team in my rankings, and it was the top Big 12 team from a year ago. That is the Arizona State Sun Devils. Okay, look, quite simply, it's Kenny Dillingham, it's Sam Leavitt. I love that duo. The energy those guys bring is incredible. Sam Leavitt is a great quarterback, has the ball placement, has the zip, has the pop. He has it all. I love what they're bringing to the table. Now, if you're thinking, Ian, I just watched your Big 12 record predictions. Didn't you have them like finishing 4th or 5th in the Big 12? I did. However, the potential is there for them to be the best team in the Big 12. I think more so than any other team in the Big 12. That's why they are my 14th team. Okay? However, I think there will be a prediction is not the same as a ranking. I think there will be some regression from what they saw last year and what their team did last year. But I love Arizona State. Wouldn't shock me at all if they won the Big 12 again this year. I don't think that's the case. Go watch the Big 12 predictions for that result. At number 13, just put Miami here at number 13 in all my rankings in the preseason for the next about 35 years. It seems like this is where I will always put them. Not quite good enough for the top 10, but the talent's there. I don't think I can drop them out of the top 15. You're bringing in a Carson Beck. Is his shoulder okay? I'm not sure. Mario Cristobal's still the head coach. I don't love that. I don't love that at all, actually, now that I'm saying it verbally, verbalizing these thoughts that go on in this mind. You know, you don't always realize what you're thinking until you say it out loud. That's what, some people say that talking to yourself out loud is crazy. I disagree with those people wholeheartedly. That's really the only time you can hear what you've been thinking. That's how you get thoughts out there. You say them. Mario Cristobal continues to make some of the dumbest mistakes of all time as head coach. Okay, you think that the Syracuse game last year, was it the Georgia Tech game a couple years ago? It is mind-boggling. This guy is a. I get it. They recruit well. They get all the talent in there. I just am baffled by this guy still getting all the praise. And you're thinking, Ian, you're part of it. You're putting him at number 13. Yes, this is projection, talent-based. They're there for number 13 in the country. They have all the tools to be at number 13 in the country. You know what's cool about Miami, Florida this year? They don't leave the state of Florida until November, okay? Let me put that into perspective. Teams in the Big Ten are flying from Pennsylvania, to California. Then we go to Indiana. Oh, we're going back to Oregon. That's the ping pong that the Big Ten is dealing with. While the ACC, oh yeah, Miami, you don't want to leave Florida for 3 months? Sure, yeah, go ahead, don't leave. We don't care. We don't care about anything really as the ACC. Miami's at number 13. They're a great football team. They have all the talent in the world. Can Mario Cristobal get results out of them? We shall see. Number 12 team in the country, it's the South Carolina Gamecocks. LaNorris Sellers, Dylan Stewart. Two players, I believe, with top 15 talent in all of college football. All of college football. That's how good those two guys are. Now, with that being said, are those two guys good enough? Good enough as a whole to raise up the rest of this team? I think so. And I think that's why they're at number 12. Look, everybody's going to come at me. Hey, they lost a lot. They lost a lot on that defense that was really, really good. Yeah, I know. I believe Shane Beamer has replenished and replaced. I love what they got. Also, this is strictly, I had already done my rankings. I saw a picture of South Carolina's starting center yesterday. This guy's built like a tank. I mean, he is one of the thickest necks I've ever seen. And I was like, hey, I like that. I like that from a center. Yes, I do. And if you've got that guy blocking for LaNorris Sellers, you don't even really need blockers if you got LaNorris Sellers back there because he can do whatever he wants, and he's hard to bring down. Basically, Lamar Jackson, half. I'm not going to say he's Lamar Jackson 2.0. That implies he's better. I'll give him Lamar Jackson a half, okay? I love South Carolina. I love LaNorris Sellers. I said after Dylan Stewart's first college football game last year that he was going to be the number one draft pick next year. Jeremiah Smith might have him, might be coming for that title next year. We'll see. I still love Dylan Stewart. I love LaNorris Sellers. I love South Carolina at number 12. Now, Florida Gators, you saw it pop up right there. DJ Lagway is having some issues. Okay, he's band-aided up. He's bandaged up. They got him in boots. They got him in protective gear. If I'm the Florida Gators, I'm sitting DJ Lagway down for the next 2.5, 3 weeks. He's not doing anything in fall camp the rest of fall camp because that guy is your season. He is your season. Okay, if he doesn't play, Billy Napier, you're out of here. Florida Gators season with their schedule, it's donezo. It's over. Get DJ Lagway healthy before the season because in week 4, you got Texas coming to town. You can win that football game, stamp your Florida Gator on the season already, and people will be abuzz in the college football world. I love DJ Lagway. He's my number one college football quarterback this year. I think he's that good. He is unbelievable. He flicks the ball and it goes 85 yards. Okay? Now, he's got to stay healthy. DJ Lagway, if you're listening to this, which we've messaged back and forth, we haven't. Nobody needs to know that. If you're listening, DJ, you got to stay healthy. Protect your body. Tell the coaches, look, I know I'm the quarterback of this team. I don't need the reps. Give me some rest. My body's hurting. His body seems to be hurting a little too much all the time, to be honest with you. But if he's there, oh my goodness, Florida should probably be in the top 10. I think they're that good. They're that talented. They were beating Georgia. Then DJ Lagway goes down, and they lose. I love DJ Lagway. If there's another quarterback, I probably don't have Florida in the top 25. I probably do, but nowhere near to the top 10. DJ Lagway's got to stay healthy. I love the Gators. Top 10. Here's where we get everybody up in arms. This is the part of the top 25 that everybody is ready for, to get their weapons out, to get their assaults on, get their arguments going. A lot of these teams have a first-year starter on their team this year. Okay, I'm going through it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 10 teams in the top 10 are starting with a new quarterback at that school, okay? At that school. However, the rest of the teams' rosters are good enough to keep them in this top 10, okay? At number 10, we have a team that maybe had one of the greatest finishes to the season last year. until the very end. It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And I got a comment last year on one of my videos. I do Fighting Irish every time I talk about Notre Dame. That's just something I do. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I'm an OU fan, and I already know just by saying that, people are going to be up in arms about what I'm about to say about Oklahoma here in a little bit. But Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, we have them at number 10. Look, question mark at quarterback. Literally everywhere else on the roster is check marks all over the field. Check mark, check mark, check mark. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're 5-star. Yes. Jeremiah Love. Yeah, come right on in. You're going to be the best running back in college football. Why don't we have you? Okay, why don't we have you? Now, quarterback is a question mark. Okay, is CJ Carr? That's who we're putting all our eggs in the basket for. Look, I don't love CJ Carr. I don't love him by any means. However, I do love Marcus Freeman, and I do love what he's done for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Okay, I love Marcus Freeman. Okay, man crush. This isn't a Monday, but man crush Monday. Marcus Freeman. Right in front of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, we have the Oregon Ducks. Okay, look, the Ducks, first-year quarterback, not really a first-year quarterback because it's Dante Moore. This is his third year in college. He started at UCLA his first year. He sat behind a veteran, one of the longest tenured quarterbacks in college football, and Dylan Gabriel. Bounced around, but he's been all over the country. Dylan Gabriel's seen a lot in college football. That's a great guy to learn under if you're Dante Moore. That was a great decision by him. Great investment by Oregon, knowing, hey, this is going to be a 2-year-long process before you're the guy. Okay, you got to realize that, and you got to believe in what we're doing as a program. Okay, everywhere else, Oregon has talent all over the field. I am curious about wide receivers. Is DeCorian Moore the guy at wide receiver with Evan Stewart going down? I believe he tore his ACL at the beginning or at the end of the summer. Could have been a torn something else, but he's out for the season. So is a 5-star freshman going to be your Ryan Williams of last year, your Jeremiah Smith of last year? Is that going to be what Oregon has this year? I'm a little lower on Oregon, again, because Dante Moore, look, this is his first real action in 2 years, okay? In 2 years. It's been 2 years since he did this. But he has more experience than some of these other guys. I don't think he's as talented as some of these other guys, but he has more experience, okay? I love Oregon should be in the college football playoff. If they don't make the college football playoff, it's a disappointing year for Dan Lanning and the Ducks. Right in front of them, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, another team, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse or beating a bush, whatever the saying is. I don't think it's beating. Am I beating around the bush or am I beat? Yeah, you beat a dead horse, you beat around the bush. I could be doing both right now. I'm beating around the bush about the quarterback situation and about beating a dead horse. I digress. Alabama. Ty Simpson seems to be the guy. That seems like that's the guy we're going with if we're Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide. How good is he? How good is he? That's the question we should be asking ourselves if you're Alabama. How good is Ty Simpson? If he's as good as Jalen Milroe, I love what Alabama's going to do. They should be 9-3. They should be 10-2. They should be in the college football playoff. If he's worse than Jalen Milroe, sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. 8-4, 7-5 come your way if you're Alabama because their schedule, brutal. Okay? Do I love Ty Simpson? No. Do I love Kalen DeBoer? Yes. I had him as my number one head coach in college football last year. He slid down the rankings with what he did last year at Alabama. I have no problem adjusting my rankings. Things can adjust. Rankings are fluid. This is a fluid system. Now, it will be static until the first play of college football is happening. But up until then, after that, it's fluid. It is fluid, just like my coach's rankings. But I love Kalen DeBoer. He's got Ryan Grubb with him this year. Didn't have that last year. Everywhere else he's been, he's had Ryan Grubb attached to his hip. Okay, I love what they're going to do offensively. The defensive talent is there. The talent's always going to be there at Alabama. But Ty Simpson is a big question mark for me. I mean, obviously, Ian, quarterback's a question. Okay, yeah, profound statements. It's not a profound statement, but it's the truth. Okay, and that's what I do here at the Ian Fritts Show. I bring you the truth. Next up, the truth hurt. The truth is going to hurt for some of these people with this team I'm about to have at number 7. I'm just going to preface this with the hate's coming here, and I think it's coming from this fan base in particular. We have the Penn State Nittany Lions at number 7. I'm going to take a sip while all the boos and the Ian, you're an idiot, are coming at my way. I hear you, and I will ignore you. Penn State. Everybody seems to think because Drew Allar's coming back, automatically Penn State. Yeah, they're going to win the national championship. Automatically he's coming back because they think he's going to get better. He may get better. We may have seen his best. And his best, quite frankly, is not good enough if you're Penn State. There was some discourse on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's Twitter. The other day that Michigan had some weaknesses on their roster a couple years ago with wide receivers when they won the national championship. Ohio State had some lack of offensive line depth and injuries when they won the national championship a year ago. Penn State, if you look at their roster, they don't have any of those glaring weaknesses. Yeah, I think I can get on board with that point. However, what I will not get on board with is that Penn State has the top tier elite talent that Michigan team had and that last year's Ohio State team had. Okay? They do not match up. The Michigan team is here. The Ohio State team is above them. Penn State's probably somewhere down here in terms of elite talent. Okay? So you may not have the weaknesses, but you definitely don't have that upper tier. Penn State has a lot of talent. They don't have that upper tier that can win a national championship in 2025. I don't see it. Penn State, going to be a really good football team. They're going to make the college football playoff. They're not winning a national championship. No world that this happens. I had to take a deep breath here because number 6 team in the country was not even ranked in the coaches poll. And you're thinking, what? Who is Ian? Ian, don't post this. Don't put this out there. You're a lunatic. Not even ranked. And you're putting them at number 6? Yes, I am. That is how fired up I am about my Oklahoma Sooners. They are my number 6 team heading into the preseason. They are going to shock the entire world this year. John Mateer, Jaden Knott, Brent Venables, every single player on that defense, every single player on that offense. The offensive line is going to be better. This is a team that is coming for blood, okay? Everybody needs to be sounding the alarms. OU's coming. Everybody needs to look out. I've been telling people since January, since we got Ben Arbuckle, since we got John Mateer, sound the alarm. OU's going to be a really, really good football team this year. They will make the college football playoff. In fact, I have them going 10-2. I have them going to the national championship game. The college football playoff predictions will be out after this video. I just spoiled a little bit of it for you. But OU will make the national championship game this year. They will be 10-2. They will be one of the best teams in all of college football this year. Mark it, book it, bookmark this. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. We will see in a few months' time because OU's schedule is brutal. We're already talking Brent Venables. He's on the way out. Every single player is out the door in the transfer portal season because their head coach is leaving. It's not happening. It is not happening because OU will be amazing this year. And I know you're thinking, you're only saying this because you're an OU fan. You're an OU homer. We say this every year. OU's going to win the national championship. Not me. I am a pessimistic fan. I always doubt what goes on. I do not buy into the hype. I am not the fan that thinks my team is going to win every single thing all the time. I predicted OU would go 6-6 or 7-5 last year. Let's rewind the history books. Boop, 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 boop. What happened? Oh, yeah, we went 6-6 and then finished 6-7. Ian, you nailed it. Yes, because I have a pulse on this team like no other. They are going to be good. Everybody needs to watch out. Sound the alarm on the Oklahoma Sooners. They're good enough to be here, and they deserve to be here. Deserve? Maybe not. Nobody deserves to be ranked because of a game hasn't been played yet. But OU, number 6 in my preseason poll. I'm already shielding myself. I don't need to be shielding myself because I'm taking the arrows for the Oklahoma Sooners. They're going to be unreal this year. Watch out. Top 5. Got to take a sip after that. Top 5. At number 5, we have a perennial top 5 team the last 5 years in the sport. It's the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, Quarterback is a question. Everywhere else on the roster, I'm not worried about at all. Okay, I'm not worried about literally a thing except for quarterback. I don't know if I love Gunnar Stockton. I'm not sure he's the guy, but we're rolling with him at Georgia. Everywhere else you have talent. You bring in Zachariah Branch from USC. That dude can make plays all over the field. He is unreal. I like Georgia. Shocker. Right in front of them, we have the Texas Longhorns. Boom, boom. Okay, and you're thinking, Ian, you only have Texas at number 4. Let's just say how ridiculous this is. People are going to be complaining about Texas at number 4. I have you at number 4. Let's not be unrealistic. That is super high. Okay, that is super high. Now, everybody seems to think that Arch Manning will come in here year 1 as being a starter. I know he's been there a couple years. I know he's an older guy. Year one of meaningful football, you have to go to Ohio State in week 1, okay? That may not be a good memory for Arch. He may be going back to nightmares in the horseshoe. Everywhere else, the defense probably going to be a top 10 unit. That's how good the defense is going to be. Now, offensively, they lost a lot of talent. Texas replaces that, yes. I'm not as high on Arch Manning. I'm saying this like I have Texas ranked at number 80. Okay, they're at number 4. Relax, people. Right in front of them, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes. Similar situation as Texas. I think the defense is going to be really good. The skill talent is still there. Obviously, you have one of the best players, if not the best player, in Jeremiah Smith, still at wide receiver. Julian Sayin, he seems to be the guy at quarterback. That's what the buzz is. How good is he? Doesn't matter. Throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith, and then you'll figure it out from there. Ohio State, going to be really good. Shocker. My number 2 team in the country. In fact, I'll just put them both up there. Clemson at number 1, LSU at number 2, Death Valley versus Death Valley. These 2 teams play in week 1. Ohio State and Texas play in week 1. I love Clemson. Cade Klubnik, the entire team is returning. And unlike Drew Allar, I think we haven't seen the potential of Cade Klubnik yet. I think he's that good of a quarterback. Same with Garrett Nussmeier. I predicted LSU's offense to be the best in college football. This is back in February during just throw out predictions for the season that's 8 months away so we can have things to talk about. I think LSU is going to have the best offense in all of college football. Defensively, Whit Weeks is still there. You're getting Harold Perkins back. You got some nice players in from the transfer portal, couple SEC transfers. If you put just put Harold Perkins on the edge. Let him be an edge rusher. That's what he is. That's what he was his first year. That's where he needs to be, Brian Kelly, and I'm sure you know this. Okay? The defense is going to be much improved. The offense is going to keep them in every single game. They're going to be that good. Watch out for LSU. But Clemson takes the number 1 spot in the preseason top 25. I have them as my number 1 team. I have had them as my number 1 team since spring. I've been all over the Clemson Tigers. I love what they're doing. People were doubting Clemson last year. I believe they were outside the top 15 for the majority of the year, and then they sneak back into the college football playoff. I love Clemson this year. I love LSU this year. I love these top 5 teams. I love them all. And you're thinking, Ian, you can't love them all. You're going to have to pick one of them to win the national championship. And I already know who I'm picking. That video will be out a few days after this one. Put in the comments where I went wrong, where I went right, and I will respond to you. Subscribe down below. I love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
25-40, 45-50.